Hello, I'm going to be talking about something I truly don't understand. I am asking you if you can think of any possible reasons for this. It's, so far as I'm concerned, completely unhinged. And one of the symptoms of this weird effect that's happening is to be found here. The Royal Mail electric van net zero scam. This was drawn to my attention by a subscriber. I very much appreciate it when people send me links to other videos, drawing attention to other stuff. I am here on my own. I do my own research, but of course I don't have a team of researchers. So some things I just don't find out about unless you tell me. And this is one of them. This guy here, here, just a minute. Let me lift this up a little bit. Geoff buys cars. Right, so obviously he's talking about buying cars and anyone who's interested in things mechanical. But this video, which I would not dream of trying to précis because he crunches the numbers so effectively, I'll just leave you the link and you can watch it. He goes through all the figures and has worked out that the idea which has suddenly occurred to the Royal Mail that all the vans are going to be electric by 2030, and this is going to cost 5 times the amount that the petrol vans cost right now. He just goes through that. So I was watching that and thinking, what on earth is going on? And then I saw this. Now, this is in the Daily Express. And again, it's on Reader because when you take the web page itself, it's so full of pop-ups, it's damn near unreadable. And I'm going to go through this. But first, I'm going to tell you I'm Granniopteryx. I'm on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. I let you know when I've uploaded a new video on Twitter, Gab and Parler, where I am at Granniopteryx. I would appreciate you liking this video, sharing it and subscribing. If you're watching this on YouTube, you might not get notifications from them and you might discover your subscription has just dropped out into nowhere. So it might be worth your while to subscribe to my Twitter, Gab or Parler platforms and to check your subscription if you think you are subscribed. Right, you can also help me financially, buy me a coffee or one of the other links. Again, in the description. All these links are in the description. Right, well, it says here in the Express, BBC splashes out 7 million on new logos as the over 75s are forced to pay the licence fee. For those of you who aren't in Britain, it is illegal to watch television, live television, if you don't pay your licence fee. And that applies to any live television. It started off just applying to the BBC, but now it means ITV, Channel 4, and any of the other terrestrial channels. I'm not sure about the satellite channels, but yeah, you can't watch TV without a TV licence. So I don't, because I don't pay the TV licence. We stopped doing that about 3 years ago. I hardly ever watched television anyway, so it wasn't a big deal. Right, but there are many over 75s who are not internet savvy and they depend on the television for company, and they are being forced now to pay the licence fee. There was a time when you hit 75, you didn't have to pay the licence fee. And that was, with old age pensions being somewhat pared to the bone, that made a difference. And then the BBC started pleading poverty and said, we can't run the BBC without charging everybody the licence fee. So it went back on to the over 75s. And then they spend that money on new logos. Now, the new logo turns out, I have something of an artist's eye. I couldn't tell the difference. The old logo is a bit bigger and a bit more closely spaced. I don't have a picture of it here, and because this is on Reader View, I can't show it, but I'll put a picture up there and you'll see what I mean. So, having spent the cash, the BBC then tried to keep the cost of its digital rebranding a secret, rejecting repeated requests from the Daily Express under the Freedom of Information Act. After an 8-month battle, the Information Commissioner ordered the broadcaster to reveal the cost of the exercise to us. So this means that they were spending money. They were actually ashamed of what they'd spent, but not ashamed enough not to spend it. Rebecca Ryan, campaign director of Defund the BBC, said, "This is typical. The organisation's complete lack of transparency is one of the reasons thousands of people are choosing to stop funding it." Yeah, myself included, and I used to work for them. And I really believed in the BBC as a shining ideal of broadcasting. Not anymore. Not anymore. And she says it's time to pull the plug on the TV licence and force the BBC to become answerable to those who choose to fund it. Look, this is what I don't understand. This is a public service, and yet they want to, their whole raison d'etre seems to be spending money. Not providing a service, spending money. And this is very similar to this here. The Royal Mail, I don't know, there may be many others. Just spending our money and not providing the service. Or rather, spending the money instead of providing the service. Because this electric van business, according to Geoff Buys Cars, it's just going to break the Royal Mail. And this here, the logo thing, which this guy, Joe Ventra, digital campaign manager at the Taxpayers Alliance, said the latest BBC branding binge will surely give taxpayers a nasty hangover. It's only worse that the Beeb bosses tried to use every trick in the book to cover up this spending. You see, people get wind of this and they don't. It's like the BBC are actually trying to run the BBC into the buffers, but they're going down by destroying as much of the idea of public service broadcasting as they can. And the same thing with the Royal Mail. It looks like they're actually trying to bankrupt the Royal Mail. So there is no Royal Mail. What is going on? I am actually genuine. I'm not asking a rhetorical question here. I actually don't understand what these people think they're doing. Can they be so divorced from reality that they think they can just pick money off a magical money tree, that people are going to be handing them money all this time and not complaining? That people don't have to worry about their kids' schooling, the kids' meals? I actually do not understand what has gripped the minds of these people. Answers, please. But don't send the answer by post. I just got a lot of Christmas cards that were posted 2 weeks before Christmas. I'm making this video close to New Year's Eve. Right, well, yeah, that's it. Till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.